The Loyal Donkey and the Lost Child. In a quiet, sun-drenched village nestled between gentle, rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a humble donkey named Duncan. Duncan was no ordinary beast of burden. He was known far and wide for his gentle nature, unwavering loyalty, and a calm, patient spirit that set him apart from all the other animals in the village. His coat was a warm, earthy gray that seemed to glow softly in the early morning light, and his kind eyes held a depth of understanding that few could match. Every day, Duncan trotted along the dusty roads and narrow paths of the village, carrying produce from the local market, assisting elderly villagers, and lending a helping hoof wherever it was needed. The village itself was a picturesque place, with thatched roof cottages arranged in neat rows, flower boxes bursting with marigolds and daisies beneath each window, and cobblestone streets winding between small orchards and lush, verdant fields. The people of the village prided themselves on their close-knit community, where every neighbor was like family. On warm summer days, the village square would come alive with laughter, music, and the enticing aroma of freshly baked bread from the local bakery. Yet, despite all the simple joys of village life, there was always room in everyone's heart for unexpected acts of kindness, and the gentle heroism that sometimes appeared in the most unassuming forms. It was during the annual village fair, a time of celebration, games, and communal merriment, that fate set into motion a chain of events that would forever highlight the quiet nobility of Duncan the donkey. The fair was held in a wide-open field on the outskirts of the village. Colorful stalls lined the area, each adorned with bright bunting and offering a myriad of treats and trinkets. Villagers of all ages gathered to enjoy the festivities, with children chasing each other between the stalls and elders recounting old stories of days gone by. Musicians played lively tunes on fiddles and flutes, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of candied apples, freshly squeezed lemonade, and roasted chestnuts. Among the joyful throng was a small boy named Tomas. Tomas was the son of a humble family and was known for his boundless curiosity and a smile that could light up even the gloomiest day. That day, Tomas's eyes sparkled with excitement as he ran from one stall to another, marveling at every colorful display and laughing with his friends. However, as the day wore on and the fair grew increasingly crowded and boisterous, Tomas's playful wandering led him further away from his parents than he ever intended. In the midst of the jubilant chaos, Tomas found himself separated from his family. One moment he was laughing with his mother near a stall selling handmade toys, and the next, he was standing alone by the edge of the fairground, where the noise faded into an eerie quiet. Panic slowly crept into his small heart as he realized he could no longer see his parents in the sea of faces and swirling colors. His eyes welled with tears, and his little hands trembled as he clutched a small red ribbon, a gift from his mother, to comfort himself. Farther from the commotion, Duncan the donkey was making his routine rounds. His steady gait and watchful eyes had always made him an integral part of the village's daily life. As he ambled along the main road leading away from the fair, he suddenly heard soft, quivering sobs carried by the gentle breeze. Intrigued and concerned, Duncan slowed his pace and listened. The sound was faint but unmistakable, a small, distressed cry that tugged at his compassionate heart. Following the sound, Duncan turned his ears toward a narrow lane that led away from the crowded fair. There, beneath a weathered stone wall overgrown with ivy, he discovered a little boy sitting alone on the cold, hard ground. Tomas's eyes were red from crying, and he looked utterly lost, his tiny body shaking with sorrow and fear. In that moment, Duncan's kind heart swelled with empathy. Without a second thought, he trotted over to the boy, his hooves tapping softly on the ground. The donkey lowered himself gently so that Tomas could climb onto his back. With a few encouraging nuzzles and soft brays that seemed to whisper reassurance, Duncan conveyed a silent promise, "I will help you." Though Tomas was initially startled by the unexpected companion, he soon sensed the warmth and safety in Duncan's gentle eyes. Clutching the red ribbon tightly, Tomas climbed onto the donkey's broad, comforting back. Thus began a long, winding journey back toward the heart of the village. As Duncan carried Tomas along the narrow country lanes, the duo passed through quiet orchards, along banks of the sparkling river, and past fields still glistening with the remnants of morning dew. All the while, the soft clatter of Duncan's hooves on the cobblestone and the murmuring wind seemed to form a lullaby of hope. Along the way, kind villagers noticed the pair and hurried to offer guidance. An elderly woman in a colorful shawl pointed them toward the village square, while a group of children waved enthusiastically, their faces alight with recognition and concern. The journey, though long, was filled with moments of gentle comfort. As they approached a dense copse of trees for shelter from a sudden drizzle, Duncan paused to let Tomas catch his breath. The rain fell in gentle, shimmering droplets, and for a few precious moments, the little boy listened to the soothing symphony of nature, the rustling leaves, the patter of rain on the canopy, and the distant, calming hum of the river. In that serene pause, Tomas's tears dried, and he looked at Duncan with newfound trust and gratitude. At last, after what seemed both like an eternity and the blink of an eye, they reached the village. The sight that greeted them was one of joyful relief. A small crowd had gathered, and Tomas's parents, faces etched with worry and hope, rushed forward with open arms. The reunion was tearful and heartfelt. Tomas's mother knelt to embrace him, and his father thanked Duncan repeatedly, stroking the donkey's soft, gray ears as if in gratitude for a miracle. That evening, as the village celebrated the return of the lost child with a modest feast and gentle music under the starlit sky, Duncan was honored as a silent hero. The story of the loyal donkey who had carried a lost child safely home spread like warm light through every home and heart. Tomas, now safely reunited with his family, would later recount the adventure with awe and gratitude, speaking of Duncan's unwavering kindness and the gentle strength that had saved him. In the days that followed, the villagers began to look at Duncan with even greater respect and admiration. He became a symbol of compassion and loyalty, a reminder that sometimes true heroes are those who work quietly in the background, guided by a heart full of love. The fields and roads, the orchards and streams of the village seemed to hold a special shimmer, as if echoing the promise that kindness and loyalty will always light the way home. As for Tomas, his brief separation from his family taught him the importance of staying close to those who love him, but also the power of trusting those whose hearts are pure. His red ribbon, once a symbol of his sorrow, came to represent the thread of love that had tied him to his family and to Duncan, the loyal donkey who had shown him that true compassion is never forgotten. And so, life in the village continued with a renewed sense of unity and gratitude. Each time someone spoke of the fair or of a lost child found, the tale of Duncan's steadfast loyalty and gentle bravery was recounted, a timeless reminder that even in a world full of challenges, a caring heart can bridge the greatest divides and lead the way back to home. Moral of the story *. The loyal donkey and the lost child teaches us that true loyalty and kindness shine brightest in times of need. When we extend our hearts to help those who are lost or vulnerable, we create bonds of trust and compassion that can guide us through even the darkest moments. No matter how small or humble, a caring deed has the power to change lives and bring a community together in warmth and hope.